This will feel a little bit like the Garden. There's a lot of St. John's fans who made the 3-hour drive from New York City to Providence as we get set to fight for a spot in the Sweet 16, and we're underway with Arkansas controlling the opening tip.
And now they're going against the #1 ranked defense in the country, according to Ken Palm. These guys guard, they switch everything. You see Ejiofor switching to Wagner there and doing a great job in forcing him into a tough shot.
Wagner way off the mark. Richmond may have gotten away with a travel, but a turnover by the Red Storm.
I don't think one thing we don't have to worry about is these two teams walking the ball up the floor. They want to go, both of them.
John L. Davis will go first for the Razorbacks.
And John L. Davis had a big game yesterday. He was terrific.
Had 18 points in the opening round win against Kansas. Also 4 of 9 from deep.
St. John's is going to see something today that they haven't really seen all year, and that's a 4 and 5 men that are 6'10 and 6'11. They have not seen that.
Ejiofor inside, and a whistle, and the foul is called. It's going to go on Jonas Adu.
And there's an example right there. It looked like it might have been a block. Ejiofor catches it a little too deep. No, he hit him on the elbow. That was a foul. But you cannot let Ejiofor, you can't let anybody, even though he's bigger, you can't let anybody catch it that deep.
I have a feeling, based on our chat with John Calipari, he's going to be talking to the officials a lot today.
No doubt. He feels like St. John's, yes, in their game the other day, fouled a lot in that game against Omaha.
Let's check in with Evan Washburn.
Andrew, we know Arkansas is getting healthy at the right time, but they're still without their leading scorer, Adu Thero. There was some hope he could play, guys. He returned to practice on Friday. He was pretty much questionable for this game. John Calipari telling us that he was going to convince him to try and play, but they're going to hold him out. Obviously trending in the positive direction if they're able to get to next week.
But you know one thing, their chemistry has been a lot, not because they don't have Thero, but because they don't have as many people to worry about playing. They're playing 7, maybe 8. Everybody knows their role, and this is the best they've played all year.
Good defense by Richmond to create the turnover. 3-on-2 for St. John's, and Kadari gets it back, but misses. DJ Wagner may have gotten a piece of the ball from behind, out of bounds to St. John's.
And you know, one of the big advantages that St. John's has is that they have big perimeter players like Kadari Richmond, like R.J. Lewis, like Wilshire. But you know what? They have good size. Arkansas's lineup has pretty good size on their perimeter also. They're not going to be able to dominate them like they were dominating the Big East this year.
Richmond to Scott. And now Kadari Richmond comes to get it. First year at St. John's after 3 at Seton Hall and 1 at Syracuse. Richmond takes a bump and lays it in.
That was a big-time move, and Arkansas switches everything. He took the big guy to the basket. No help was there.
Wagner to the corner, and Knox misses the 3. The rebound to Brazil.
Brazil and Adu have been tremendous the last 7 games. That's a big reason why this team is playing so well.
Brazil had a double-double against Kansas. R.J. Lewis, no good. And the rebound to Knox, jumping over bodies on his way up the floor, trying to go coast to coast, and he's fouled. How about the follow by Trevin Brazil from our AT&T Connected Cam?
Yeah, I mean, Trevin Brazil, at his size, is long, athletic, got the long arms, and he's 12 for his last 25 from the three-point line. That's why him and Adu can play together, because he can step out on the perimeter and shoot as any good power forward big in the country.
Foul is on Kadari Richmond, who had foul trouble in the first-round win against Omaha. He sat for a lot of that first half after picking up 2 fouls. Rick Pitino telling us that St. John's hasn't really seen a team with the athleticism that Arkansas has. So how do they combat that?
They're going to have to play their game, but they're not going to be able to rely on offensive rebounds, I think, like they normally do. They're one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. They average almost 15. Let's see if they can do that tonight.
Here's Scott from the outside, and it won't go. Brazil clears.
And so far, now it's very early, they haven't been near the glass.
Davis the other way. John L. Davis. 7-0 run for Arkansas.
He had 4 threes against Kansas.
His team leading 54th of the year. Where will St. John's turn for some offense? Here goes Simeon Wilcher. Lost a handle on the basketball. And we have a tie-up. It'll stay with the Red Storm. Well, you can watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now.
And you know, Andrew, St. John's is #1 in the country at scoring off second chance points and turnovers. They average 33 points a game in those 2 categories. Are they going to be able to get those kind of points today? I think today they're going to need to have a half-court offense a little better than it's been all year.
Ejiofor spinning and laying it in.
That's a big-time move by the most improved player in the Big East this year.
Chance of Zuby from the St. John's fans, who's got 4 of their 6 points.
And there's the switch. Zuby. Ejiofor goes on.
Brazil is wide open, but misses the 3. Adu the offensive rebound, but had it poked away. And here comes R.J. Lewis. The Big East Player of the Year, trying to get to the basket, missed it in tight, and Brazil another rebound. (5-2) in the rebound department in favor of the Razorbacks. Davis wants 3 more. Knocks the offensive rebound, and he is fouled.
And that's one thing we have to keep an eye on. As good an offensive rebounding team that St. John's is, they're not a great defensive rebounding team. And this Arkansas team, they get on the glass also. So their defensive rebounding today for St. John's is going to be tested.
Foul goes on Simeon Wilcher, and Carter Knox, the freshman McDonald's All-American, at the free throw line. Let's take a look at advanced stats presented by Invesco QQQ.
Yeah, I mean, this team, 81 points per 100 possessions. That's the 3rd fewest. And now you couple that with what they usually do on the glass, and now you have the best defensive team in the country by efficiency.
St. John's got off to a slow start against Omaha on Thursday. They were down 7-0. St. John's has been a great second-half team this year, but Rick Pitino is imploring them at practice yesterday. We have to get off to a better start. Don't want to dig out of this hole against a team like Arkansas. As Richmond misses, Scott takes it away. Ejiofor trying to clean it up. He's rejected. Knox got the block. And now we have a call and a tie-up.
You got these 2 coaches, you know you're going to have a lot of excitement. That's what we have going right now. Arkansas up 5.
This is the 5th time that John Calipari and Rick Pitino have met in the NCAA tournament. Pitino won the first 2 with Kentucky against UMass, including the 1996 Final Four. And Calipari has won the last 2 with Kentucky against Louisville, including the 2012 Final Four. So 1 today to split the tie between Calipari and Pitino.
I guess Kentucky's a pretty good job. All the wins were with Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
You know, one thing we got to keep an eye on, and we've already seen this game being played well above the rim. Arkansas's #4 in block shots, St. John's #13. So getting things at the rim are going to be very interesting today.
And an early substitution for Pitino. He puts Big East Player of the Year R.J. Lewis on the bench and brings in freshman Ruben Prey as Knox, another freshman with a chance for 3.
Knox does an unbelievable job here of using his strength to get to the basket. Now you look at Knox as a perimeter player. He's 6'6". He's got to be 200, 205. So he can match up with a Kadari Richmond. He can match up with Wilcher. That's where you see a big difference in what this Arkansas team brings to the table physically, that St. John's, they've dominated the Big East. And a lot of the reason was because of their big wings, big strong wings. Today they're going to see a little bit different level.
The St. John's foul was on Wilcher. That's his 2nd. He goes to the bench. Lewis comes back in along with Davon Smith. And for Arkansas, John Calipari bringing Zvonimir Ivisic into the ballgame, who only played 4 minutes in the win over Kansas. He's been used a lot less of late. Knox so far 7 points, 5 of 5 from the free throw line.
I think Rick Pitino too wanted to get more size in there. That's why Bray's in the game.
Smith comes to get it. Into the corner to Richmond. Not a very good three-point shooter. That's not his specialty. Hands off Smith. Lewis steps into a three. No good. The tip is good.
Ruben Bray has been given great minutes. He was above everybody on that.
He tied his career high with 6 points against Omaha. Played 13 minutes in that game, and Pitino told us we could use him again, and he's going to him early here as that three is off the mark for Knox.
I don't think Calipari liked that one.
Lewis spinning, finger roll. No, the follow by Ejiofor.
Offensive rebounds are starting to be a factor. That's 4 points just now, 2 in a row on offensive glass.
6 offensive rebounds for St. John's. 6 second chance points for the Johnnies. Wagner trying to get to the basket with the left hand. No. And the rebound to Richmond. Finds Ejiofor, cutting to the basket.
What a move.
And one!
First, we're going to see the tip on the offensive glass. And then another putback coming here on the drive from Lewis. Ejiofor finishes that one. And then this is some finish by a big guy. Wow. That's a big-time play right there.
Rick Pitino told us that Ejiofor did not have a good game against Omaha. Had 10 points, 7 rebounds, but you got the sense that Pitino was going to challenge Zuby for this one, and boys, he answered the call early.
He didn't have a lot of energy in that first half against Omaha. In the second half, he was better in terms of what he did defensively, but right now in this game, he's on fire.
7-0 run in the last 5 points scored by Ejiofor.
Right now, he's dominating this game, and he is the smallest of all these bigs that are out there.
Davis with Lewis trying to slide with him. It's not there, and R.J. Lewis grabs the ball. Ejiofor sets the screen for Richmond. Surveying the scene. Ejiofor capable from the outside, but not that time, and the rebound to Brazil.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas challenged him on that pick and pop. They figured, hey, if you want, they'd rather have him shoot that than pick and roll to the basket.
Wagner. Off the rim, no good. Brazil fighting for the rebound. It's tipped to Lewis.
Well, Wagner was terrific the other day.
How about Ejiofor running the floor again? He was looking for it, got sent to the ground as Richmond misfires, and the rebound, a scramble. John L. Davis rips it away.
Yeah, that wasn't a good shot by Kadari Richmond.
3-on-2, Adu through the lane, and he's fouled. Refresh the madness with Coke Zero Sugar to get an exclusive offer in the Wendy's app. And the foul lap on Kadari Richmond. So he's got 2 fouls, just like the first half against Omaha on Thursday.
And one thing I can tell you is, even though Rick Pitino is number 360 in the nation at playing guys with 2 fouls, he doesn't do it. But you know what? This is a whole different moment here. Is he going to sit Kadari Richmond for 13 minutes? Normally he would, but I don't know about today.
Substitutions for both teams, including for Arkansas. Boogie Fland comes onto the floor. He missed 15 games in a row after having thumb surgery in January, but returned for the first time on Thursday against Kansas. He had 6 points in 23 minutes. Calipari said he was a little bit rusty. The shooting will be the last thing to come back to him, but we saw the impact he made in that game.
Oh, my. Well, it was funny, too, because Calipari told us, yeah, we said, is he on a minute restriction? He said, yeah, 15 minutes, but if he plays good, we'll play him more. I said, is that a minute restriction? I didn't know that.
He played 23 minutes on Thursday. Arkansas is now 7 of 7 from the free throw line.
And Leotopoulos in the game, who is a very, very good shooter. And so Rick Pitino going to his bench. Iwuchukwu in now also.
Lewis with the left hand, no. Adu collides with Richmond, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be St. John's basketball.
Richmond is another one of those big wings that John Calipari has at his disposal.
You can get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. And Aaron Scott's sister is in the women's tournament with Oklahoma. Sister Liz actually playing right now at the same time against Florida Gulf Coast. So a tough spot for the Scott family, but a good spot. Both kids in the NCAA tournament. R.J. Lewis scoreless so far, and 0 of 5 from the floor. Scott and a tie-up. It'll stay with St. John's.
What do you say? You think Rick Pitino puts Kadari Richmond back in the game?
I think he probably will.
I do too.
But we did see the bench perform well against Omaha. I know Omaha's not the same as Arkansas, but they may have gotten some confidence from that performance as Lewis misses again out of bounds to Arkansas. And R.J. Lewis, the player of the year in the conference, now 0 for 6.
And let's face it, Andrew, that's a big reason why Rick Pitino doesn't play guys with 2 fouls, because he obviously loves his depth. But who knows about today, though, what this game means.
It means playing for a spot in the Sweet 16. Davis open for 3. Too strong. Davon Smith the rebound.
Yeah, they look like they want to go under all those screens, which is testing Davis.
Smith to Lewis, rejected by Richmond. A scramble on the floor. Who's going to come away with it? The freshman Richmond has it.
You know, that's what I mean about the length. Richmond's a guard, and he's blocking shots like that.
Coast to coast. And Aaron Scott.
Oh, he cupped that. Oh. Great ducking by Iwuchukwu.
Misses in tight. Defended by Adu.
Got to finish that one.
Davis accelerating and scoring.
Transition defense, not good that time. Rick Pitino not happy with that.
And he calls timeout with 11:42 to go. John L. Davis and the Razorbacks looking good early. Here in Providence with our game summary, both teams struggling from the outside, excelling from the free throw line. And a moment ago, Evan with Rick Pitino.
Coach, when you look at how this game has started, what are your priorities to the guys in the next 4 minutes here?
Well, the shot blockers are pretty damn strong at the rim. We can't take it all the way. We got to come up and pull up and take a mid-range shot or pass the ball. We're taking it right into the shot blockers.
Does your philosophy change at all with Kadari with the 2 fouls?
I told him, I said, the first foul was the one that hurt us because you just reached in. It's got to be body to body.
Thanks.
Well, Evan was trying to find out if Kadari Richmond's coming back in the game. But the other thing is the shot blockers. Understand this, St. John's, the only shot blocking team in the Big East really is Creighton with Ryan Kalkbrenner. So what they're seeing tonight at the rim, St. John's, is a whole different ball game.
Good box out by Evan for the second question.
Yeah, that was good.
No foul called. 7 missed layups for St. John's. Scott fakes the 3. Now he'll take the 2. And the rebound goes out of bounds to Arkansas.
Tough contested shot there. It'd be interesting to see what Ivisic does, because he has been really, his last 4 games, he's got 10 points total. And he was really good before that.
St. John's is 5 of 21 from the floor, including missing each of their last 7 shot attempts. Wagner will set up the Arkansas offense. Played all 40 minutes in the first round against Kansas. That was a career high. His Flan's jumper is short, and Aaron Scott going up high for the rebound and then fouled by Ivisic.
Yeah, that's a bad foul. For a 7-footer to get a foul like that, 94 feet from the basket, he's got the ball, just let it go.
And Zubi Ejiofor returns. He has 9 of St. John's 13 points. Adu back on the floor as well.
You know, as much as St. John's has struggled here early on, they're right there because their defense has been good. I mean, Arkansas is only shooting 29% from the field, too. The difference is that they're 7 for 7 from the free throw line.
Yeah, we've only had one field goal combined in the last 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Rick Pitino is going to put R.J. Lewis back on the floor, see if he can get going after an 0 for 7 start. Smith sees an opening, sends it out to Scott for 3. Ejiofor going for the offensive rebound. It ends up in Lewis's hands, and he was out of bounds.
And that was a really good opportunity. Davon Smith with the pass to the corner. He turns the corner, he gets the help. I don't know. I mean, did he have his foot out first?
It's a strange one.
I don't know.
Wagner. And the teams are now a combined 1 of 12 from deep.
Yeah, neither one of these teams is a great three-point shooting team. We know that.
Smith trying to get to the basket, and a foul is called. Davon Smith will shoot free throws.
Yeah, Arkansas makes about 7 threes a game. St. John's makes about 6. These guys, they're in the bottom 75 in terms of usage of the three.
That's a big foul right there. It goes on Adu, which is his second. As Evan Washburn told us earlier, Adu Thero was trying to get his way back into the lineup, but a no-go today for Arkansas with the left knee injury. Watch whip-around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break presented by AT&T. It's in the March Madness Live app. So Adu comes out with the 2 fouls.
And John Calipari has decided to go small. He's got Kevin Knoxon, who's playing the 4 spot right now.
A lot of trust in Leotopoulos as well for Pitino. He only averages 4 minutes per game. He's been out here in the first half, second round of the NCAA tournament, trying to cover Boogie Flant.
He's a very good shooter. They need him. They need somebody to do something.
Brazil hands off Wagner. Wagner trying to get to the basket, sends it out, deflected. Fland has it, 4 to shoot. Richmond in the paint. Richmond, yes.
Richmond, Knox, 6'6", athletic. Get to the rim.
St. John's without a field goal for over 5 minutes.
Because the problem, Andrew, is this become more of a half-court game for them.
Scott cleans it up, misses. The follow not there. Smith fighting on the glass. He missed it as well. And Brazil has it, and he's fouled. Wow, the impact of Trevin Brazil down the stretch here for Arkansas continuing here against St. John's.
Yeah, Arkansas is getting out in transition. St. John's is not, so they're being forced to play half court. They're not forcing the turnovers they normally force. They're not getting the tempo of the game the way they want it. And they have 9 missed layups in this game already.
Wagner gets it to John L. Davis. Wagner with the right hand. How about it? DJ Wagner with a resurgence in March after a disappointing March a year ago with Kentucky as Leotopoulos misses the 3. St. John's is 0 for its last 13. And let's face it, this was the concern about St. John's when talking about their March hopes. What happens if they run into one of those nights when they're not shooting the ball well?
And especially when they come in, run into a team that's as athletic as they are and as big.
Brazil's 3 not there. Lewis is fouled, going for the rebound by Davis. And a timeout with 7:58 to go in the first half. Arkansas has a 22-14 lead.
Coach, what's working defensively to hold them in check to start this game?
We're blocking some shots. They're missing some open shots. They're still getting offensive rebounds. They're really good. But our kids are fighting. We're putting pressure on them instead of, they like to say a pressing team doesn't like to get pressed. A pressure team maybe doesn't like to get pressured. I don't know. They're really good, though.
Appreciate the time.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt the shot blocking has affected why St. John's. They've missed 9 layups. That doesn't happen to them very often. It is because of the shot blocking. I'm also wondering right now, Andrew, there's Leotopoulos trying one.
Lewis finally has his first field goal.
Yeah, no box out there, but I'm wondering, like, is Rick Pitino going to put Kadari Richmond back in? I'm going to say it looks like no for 2 reasons. One, he doesn't want to get the 3rd foul. That's most important. But you remember, St. John's is top 4 in the nation in outscoring their opponents in the second half. They've been a great second half team all year.
Out of bounds. Good hustle by Ejiofor, and it's St. John's basketball.
These kids know how big this game is.
Ejiofor and Brazil having a few words as they go down the floor, and a little elbow to the chest. Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah, they're leaning on each other a little bit.
Still going at it a little bit. And that Lewis basket last time ended a run of 14 straight misses by St. John's, and there's a miss by Leotopoulos. But Arkansas was out of bounds.
Yeah, he didn't get back in. Knox didn't get both feet in before he touched that ball. That's the call anyway. He's out. He was out. He didn't touch the floor. That's a good call.
So back to the Red Storm with 7:02 to play in the first. Smith to inbound for St. John's. Lewis to Ejiofor, could not make the catch cleanly, and now we'll reset. Lewis, no good.
Another layup.
Stop the offensive board. Out to Leotopoulos for 3. Yes!
My compatriot.
First 3 of the day for St. John's, and we've got a 3-point game, and that 3 is woken up this St. John's crowd. Brazil is fouled at the other end. St. John's bench wanted an offensive foul, but the freshman from Greece getting the Red Storm going.
Again, off an offensive rebound, and Leotopoulos ready, steps in, knocks it out.
Foul on St. John's is on Davon Smith, his second.
Lefthedi is from Thessaloniki. I had to say that. You know, is that okay?
You can say whatever you want, especially if you're going to say that.
Okay.
Brazil at the free throw line, where he's just 54% this year. And that was the first Arkansas miss at the line today. There's a look at the foul trouble. 4 players with 2 apiece.
And I don't blame, this 2.
But Richmond cleans it up.
And I don't blame John Calipari for keeping Jonas Adu out, because when you're a shot blocker, you want to save him. You don't want him to get in foul trouble. You want him to be aggressive at the rim.
Leotopoulos.
Good pass.
Wheels it around. Smith an open 3. It's short, but a foul inside. And then Brazil pushed Ejiofor to the ground. We showed you this a couple of moments ago. They've been chirping a lot, and then extra here. And they're going to take a look at this. Watch Brazil and Ejiofor battling inside.
I think that's a common foul. Did they call a common foul on Brazil?
They did, but they're going to look, and you can see John Calipari is not happy.
The player's being reviewed for a flagrant foul.
I mean, there was a lot going on there. All right here now, that was one push. That's a common foul. I think it's a common foul.
We highlighted this early, but when we met with John Calipari yesterday, he brought up the physical play of St. John's, and he said, I'm going to do everything in my power to protect my players. And you can see a couple of times already in this first half, Calipari has gotten heated with the officials. Gene Steratore is with us, and Gene, what do you see here?
Yeah, just 2 big bodies going at it, like Lap said, I think, Andrew, and I don't think really, Ejiofor doesn't really get hit in the head neck area. when Brazil kind of turns with his back to the basket, right? He's not really in a traditional box out. Officials' antenna go way up because his back's to the hoop. He's facing his opponent. Now that action, they will then take a look a little more, and you could see the bigs when Ejiofor comes in. Brazil's back's to the hoop. He's facing his opponent and hitting him. That's a common foul for sure to me, and I don't think the contact's in the head neck area or would rise, but I definitely agree with the common foul in Brazil.
Tony Padilla, Lamar Simpson, and Bart Lennox are our officials today. And it looks like they've made a conclusion, and they're calling a flagrant one.
The foul on the floor has been upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul.
I'll tell you what, that's got to really
shoot 2 shots and get the ball in the baseline.
That's got to really frost John Calipari, because he believes that St. John's is much more physical than they are, and they get a flagrant 1 on that. You know, I don't agree with it. Obviously, Gene didn't, so I feel better.
Yeah, you know what, Lap? As I keep looking with Brazil's left hand, it slides up. I know what Coach Kyle's looking at now. It's a physical game. They're playing hard. They really protect the head neck area, and the left hand of Brazil does get up around that neck. It's subtle, but those are a lot of big bodies in there. I understand Coach Kyle being a little frustrated right now.
All right, Gene, thank you. So free throws for Ejiofor, and that was Brazil's second foul. So now for John Calipari, he's got Brazil and Edu with 2 fouls apiece.
And the problem with them, Ivisic is back in the game, and he has really struggled lately. And, you know, I don't know how good he is in a physical game, because that's what this is.
Ejiofor goes 1 out of 2. He's got 10 points. The rest of his team has combined for 10 points. And now Smith will inbound. Up top to Scott. Still no Kadari Richmond for St. John's. Smith rolling to Ejiofor! You've heard us talking a lot about missed layups for St. John's. Not one there. Here comes Lewis. Hello! Timeout, Arkansas. Tied at 24 thanks to a 10-2 run by St. John's.
Yeah, I mean, one thing here, Ivisic messes up the handoff there, goes too long with Davon Smith, and Ejiofor is just going to finish that one. And then on the other end, we're going to see R.J. Lewis with a great steal. He comes down and gets a dunk. Let's keep in mind one thing. You're going to see R.J. Lewis right there. St. John's is #1 in the country. 33 points a game off second chance points and turnovers. They now have 16 all of a sudden in this game. They're halfway to their average. That's not good for Arkansas.
Spike Lee enjoying what he sees as these St. John's fans have become louder and louder during this 10-2 run. Chance of defense.
Another one. Oh, that was close. I thought Davon Smith had that one.
Davis out to Flan. Deep 3 for Boogie. It's good.
When this kid got hurt, he was shooting 38% from the three-point line. This kid can shoot the ball.
A big answer for the Razorbacks.
And I think he's playing more than 24 minutes today.
Especially with the foul trouble Arkansas has.
And I was surprised Janelle Davis was out for a long time. John Calipari has him back in. He can't guard him.
Ivisic commits his second foul as we check in with Evan.
Well, Andrew, you touched on it. Boogie Flan with that right thumb injury was in a splint for 6 weeks. It was the first surgery of his life. How about this, though? He feels like video games over the course of his time in that splint helped his recovery. A little bit of flexion over the course of that time. And again, it was last week, again, in the SEC tournament where he started to work out. And he's been desperate to play in a tournament setting his entire basketball life, guys.
Great excuse to play video games. I love it. It's the first time that Boogie Flan is coming off the bench since junior high school. If Arkansas advances, you might see this guy back in the starting lineup.
Yeah, quickly. Well, what's happened is DJ Wagner has played very well at the point since he was out. His assist, he doubled his assists. He became the point guard, and he's done a good job. So now they have 2 point guards. That's not a bad thing.
Ejiofor averages 14 points per game. He has 14 points here in the first half. Ivisic. Working around to John L. Davis. He attacks the lane, missed the layup. Had a great look at it, too.
These layups are getting missed because we have 2 of the best shot blocking teams in the country.
Smith connects, and St. John's has the lead.
St. John's is always at their best when they're pushing the ball.
Wagner with the left hand, no, too strong off glass. Smith wants to push the other way. A 14-5 run for the Red Storm and a foul.
This is what you call a physical, hard-fought game by some tremendous athletes.
And Adam Simeon Wilcher's brother, CJ, is on Texas A&M, so their dad is in Denver with CJ, and Simeon's mom is here in Providence to support Simeon.
How about St. John's shooting 29% from the field, and they're up 2 in this game? I mean, that's what they do, because they score on all these offensive rebounds, turnovers. Their first shot, they miss a lot. The problem is they get it back a lot, too. Wasn't that good, that free throw?
Yeah, it is good.
What happened? What are they saying? They had the wrong shooter?
Wow, technical foul. Technical foul on Arkansas. On Carter Knox. Steve Lapis getting an explanation now from Lamar Simpson.
They had a foul on the lane that Richmond was fouled, got pushed in the back. So that's why he's shooting a 1-and-1. So Davon Smith shot his second one, and then was the foul.
Foul was on R.J. Lewis, and Richmond makes the front end of 1-and-1. All right, so we got that sorted out.
That's a weird one, because, you know, he fouled on a made shot, you know what I mean?
Freshman Richmond in front of the rim, and Scott the rebound.
Davon Smith has really done a good job in this game pushing the pace for St. John's. And Leotopoulos really has played a long time.
Rick Pitino will not take him out. Lewis, jumper over Ivisic is no good. The rebound to Knox.
Good job by Ivisic there.
Ivisic, capable from the outside, drives in, lost the ball, but right to Richmond, who missed it. Oh, Richmond had a great look. Had a great look late in the SEC tournament against Ole Miss. Missed that one. Reminiscent. Leotopoulos, not this time, well short. So we approach 3 minutes to go in the first half. Davis trying to penetrate. Ejiofor is right there. The fans want it.
And a great job by Ejiofor. That's what he does. That might be
the offensive foul on DJ Wagner.
And you rarely ever anymore see a secondary defender taking a charge because you got to get there early enough. He did.
All right, first let's go back to the foul on the free throw. It was called on R.J. Lewis here. You can see push Richmond to the ground. And then here is the foul a moment ago on Wagner.
Wow, he got there, and that's really hard to do. You don't even see those calls. You used to be in the game notes. They'd have charges. Nobody has charges there anymore because there aren't any.
Well, Wagner had a great performance against Kansas on Thursday. Slow start today. 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting, and he has 3 turnovers. And we have a foul away from the ball. And this is going to be on Ivisic, which is his 3rd.
Yeah, and he's not bringing Adu or Brazil back in the game. So either he's going to let Ivisic stay out there and maybe get a 4th, or he's going to go really small.
For now, he's keeping Ivisic out there.
Yeah, I think you can't go really small against St. John's because they'll murder you on the glass.
Coming up, AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, Clark Kellogg, Wally Zerbiak, and Charles Barkley are standing by in New York with their insights in our first half and a preview of what's ahead. And how about this? Ivisic out for Adu.
Tough decision. 2:38 to go. You're bringing in one of your guys, one of your best players, with 2 fouls with 2:38 to go. I don't know, he didn't want to lose Ivisic for like a whole game either, so I understand what he did.
And Adu is a smart, mature player. 3 years at Tennessee, went to the Elite 8 a year ago. He's capable of handling himself on the big stage. Let's see if St. John's goes at him.
Well, obviously Arkansas has been really hurt with those 2 bigs on the bench.
Richmond for 3.
That's not what he does. He's not a good 3-point shooter.
St. John's now +9 on the glass. Scott, 3, not close. And Boogie Flan comes away with it. Richmond was down the other end of the court, but Flan brings it up.
Arkansas's got to pick up their pace because they're not playing great in the half court right now either.
Flan is fouled, and St. John's' bench does not agree.
And Rick Pitino is pointing at Evan Burrow, who was on the baseline right in front of that play. That's why he was pointing it. He was showing the red. He's pointing at Evan Burrow. You're going to see it. And he's saying, hey, Evan is standing right there. I'm sorry, not Evan Burrow. Lamar Simpson is standing right there. That's what Rick Pitino's pointing at. He says, Lamar's right there.
You coaches see all.
See everything. Well, I mean, it was Lamar's call.
Foul was on Ejiofor, his first. He's got 16 points. And Adu will come out. And Ivisic is back in.
That's interesting. Maybe John Calipari had to talk with Ivisic and say, hey, listen, no matter what, do not foul. I don't care what happens. Let him score. But you should go to Ejiofor right now because there's no way Ivisic is going to even guard him.
Ejiofor out on the perimeter. Lewis drives inside, taken away by Knox. Flan, step back three, retracted by Ejiofor. Davis launches. That won't go. Richmond, the offensive rebound. He puts one up, and it rattles in. Billy Richmond providing big minutes off the bench for the Razorbacks. They cut the deficit down to 1. Richmond averages 5.5 points per game. He's got 7 in the first half. Leotopoulos catch and shoot, won't go. And the rebound to Knox. Arkansas a chance to pull ahead as we approach 1 minute to play. Ten to shoot. Ivisic on the wing, trying to work over Ejiofor. Wow. He hits it. And John Calipari clapping his hands.
Really?
What a move there by Cal.
That's a skilled move, a 12-foot jump hook.
Took Adu out, put Ivisic back in, and he gives Arkansas the lead. Ejiofor left open for 3. Prey's tip is not there. Ivisic the rebound.
They're going to get the last shot.
And the shot clock is turned off.
both coaches have to be pleased to get out of here with the foul trouble that they've had.
Flan, big bump and finishes.
Big time.
And that's how the first half ends. What a bucket by Boogie. Arkansas closes the half on a 7-0 run.
Well, one thing about Boogie, he can boogie. And he got fouled there too, by the way.
And he boogies over to Evan Washburn.
Boogie, we'll let you catch your breath there. Take us through that bucket to close out the first half.
I mean, coach needed a bucket. Coach relied on me to get one. I did what I had to do.
In this type of game, back and forth, what's going to be the difference in the second half?
Discipline, rebounding, physicality, playing tough.
Thanks for the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That first half featured 19 fouls, 22 field goals, and 2 Hall of Fame coaches going head-to-head. Arkansas by 3. Coming up, it's AT&T at the half, right after these messages. Kadari Richmond in real time sat for 65 minutes.
It's going to be interesting to see how he starts out in this second half, because that's a long time to be sitting and watching.
Simeon Wilcher also sat for a while with 2 fouls. He starts the second half for St. John's as well. Adu back on the floor. Good defense there by Wilcher. The shot clock's already at 10.
I mean, Adu doesn't have a basket in this game. He had 22 against Kansas. They got to get him involved early in this second half.
Knox, jumper, and a foul is called. They call it on Wilcher, and that is his 3rd. So he sat for the majority of the first half, and he's going to go right back to the bench.
Looks like he got him on the right elbow.
Wilcher played only 4 minutes in the first half. So a frustrating day so far for the sophomore from Plainfield, New Jersey.
But the one thing about it, when they have Davon Smith and Kadari Richmond in together, those guys push the ball.
1 out of 2 for Carter Knox.
It's almost like you wonder, should they have called something early for Kadari Richmond to just kind of get him into this game?
Ejiofor had the hot hand in the first half. Now they feed Richmond with 7 to shoot. Defended by Wagner. Richmond right to the lane, and he misses. Ejiofor the offensive rebound, and a foul is called, and that's going to go on Adu, and that's his 3rd.
Wow, he's got to come out too now. They cannot risk him getting his 4th.
John Calipari will put Ivisic back in the game.
Yeah, he probably wishes, Ejiofor has just been a bear under the glass, but Calipari probably wishes that shot by Richmond went in. That way Adu wouldn't have his 3rd foul.
Heard Charles Barkley say during AT&T at the half that the last person he'd want to get in a fight with is Zuby Ejiofor. 6'9", 240, and Ejiofor with 16 points and 5 rebounds in the first half. Scott's 3, no. Ejiofor's right there, muscles his way, and draws the foul. And that's going to be on Ivisic, and he picks up his 4th.
Right now, a huge story in this game is Ejiofor is wreaking havoc on everybody. They cannot do anything with him. He is playing so hard and so determined right now. I mean, how does he get that kind of position? He's inside of Ivisic. I mean, got to put a body on him and get him out of there.
So what do you do now if you're John Calipari? Keep Ivisic with 4 or bring Adu back with 3?
I'd let Ivisic foul out, I got to be honest with you. You're still in a position, you're up 4 still. It's not like, you know, you're in trouble. You're up 4. I'd leave Ivisic in, and whatever happens with him happens.
Ejiofor has drawn 6 fouls already in this game. Let's check in with Evan.
Guys, talking to Rick Pitino at half. Just 3 assists for St. John's in the first 20 minutes. So we have to pass the ball better. It will lead to better shots. Too many challenge shots in that first half for St. John's, according to Pitino.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of their things that they're not great at.
Davis, jumper, and the long rebound right to Lewis. Lewis going right at John L. Davis, and a tie-up is called. Good defense by Davis. It'll stay with St. John's.
I'll tell you, John L. Davis does so many good things. He's a very, very good player. He stays in front on Lewis there, doesn't let him just get by him. Good job on defense right there.
Here's Kadari Richmond with the left hand. No, misses another one. And Richmond is 1 for 6 today.
2 more layups missed. St. John's is 4 for 16 on layups.
Wagner. What a shot by DJ Wagner.
It's not like St. John's just let somebody come down and just go down the middle.
Wagner trying to erase the taste of last year's NCAA tournament when he was scoreless in the loss against Oakland. Scott turnaround, no good. Ivisic stands tall for the rebound, and he draws the foul.
That's a heck of a rebound there.
Fouls on Ejiofor, his second.
That is a good rebound, tough rebound, and that's definitely a foul.
So far in this game, a combined 23 field goals and 23 fouls.
Well, you know, it's funny. Neither team is shooting well. The defenses are really good, and it's a high-level game. This is like a pro game with college rules.
And a packed house here in Providence to see it all. Wagner again penetrates and scores.
Yeah, that doesn't make Rick Pitino happy.
And the Arkansas fans making some noise as the lead is up to 7. And Rick Pitino calls timeout. Razorbacks off to a good start in the second half. Keegan Bradley will be there having fun. The St. John's alum in the house to cheer on the Red Storm. Also, Celtics president Brad Stevens making the short drive from Boston to Providence, and Spike Lee, who actually was here for the first game. McNeese and Purdue rooting on the Johnnies as well. Out of the timeout for St. John's, it's a 5-1 advantage for Arkansas here in the second half. Richmond out to Scott, extra pass Ejiofor. And a steal by Knox. Smith trying to get back. Knox flies in and scores.
Yeah, this team is capable of getting on the wing and denying, also and forcing some turnovers.
Largest lead of the afternoon for Arkansas.
You know, St. John's has been there before, especially in second halves, but they got to start doing it.
Ivisic with 4 fouls defending Ejiofor.
This guy's got to start.
Richmond in tight, and he is fouled.
Can't make a layup. He's had 3 that were so finishable. I don't even know if that's a word. But that Knox gets in that passing lane there. And then Kadari Richmond with a great move. This is what he does. He's so strong. Another layup.
Yeah, and goes to the free throw line, which is not one of his strengths. Just 53% on the season. St. John's, no field goals this half. You can stream CBS Sports HQ, your free 24/7 snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. Catch highlights, in-depth analysis, and breaking news anywhere you are. Download the CBS Sports app to watch today. 1 out of 2 for Kadari Richmond.
And here's their pressure, full court. They do this a lot. Haven't done it a lot in this game. And now we got Adu back in the game.
Adu with the 3 fouls. Wagner looking for him. Gets it to him, and the flush. Jonas Adu, what a resurgence of late. The first 27 games of the year, he averaged 5 points and 4 rebounds. Last 4, 18 and 8. That was his first field goal today as Richmond lays it in.
Maybe that's something that'll get him going. Look at, he's standing under the basket. That's the worst place you could take the ball out of bounds, under the rim. Not good.
St. John's playing without R.J. Lewis right now. 2 for 12 today, and Rick Pitino has him on the bench.
he's hoping for a spurt from that kid. That's why he's got him on the bench. He's bringing him in soon.
Wagner trying to get by Ejiofor, misses in tight. The rebound comes to Adu, and we have a foul called. That'll go on St. John's and takes us to a timeout. Razorbacks coming out with some energy here in the second half. Arkansas on top of St. John's by 8, and they are attacking in the paint.
Well, that's what they do. They're not a good three-point shooting team, but they have multiple guys that can go off the bounce. Boogie Fland, obviously one of them. They have 8 points in the half here in the paint. St. John's only has 2. These guys can take it to the basket with the best of them.
+6 in the paint for Arkansas as R.J. Lewis continues to sit. Lewis, Richmond, and Scott, 3 of the top scorers for St. John's this year, a combined 4 for 27 today.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that R.J. Lewis is still out.
Knox spinning and scoring!
Whoa. You know, this team had a lot of injuries, a lot of struggles during the year, but the last month, the first time I saw them live, I was like, whoa, this is not going to be easy for St. John's.
John Calipari says they've been playing with one heartbeat lately, and they are showing that today. A long rebound tipped out, and it is saved by Wiltshire, who's back in with 3 fouls. Wiltshire flying through for 2. Let's see where Arkansas goes on this possession. All 5 of their field goals in the second half have come in the paint.
Well, the other thing they're doing is, even in the half court, they are moving the ball better than they did in the first half. They got Idu there. And
another one in the paint, and the foul!
Well, take a look. He's got Kadari Richmond on him, who now picks up his 3rd. He's got him deep, deep in the paint. Look at this. You got to get in front of him there. You can't stay behind, or he's going to do that all day long.
Jonas Adu went to the Elite 8 a year ago with Tennessee, trying to take Arkansas to the Sweet 16.
And you take that per game average of 6.9, throw it out the window.
We just told you.
This is a different man right now.
The last 4 averaging 18 points per game as he completes the 3-point play. 7 points for Adu today as he's been battling foul trouble. Arkansas with its largest lead of the day.
And here's the problem. St. John's has to start to turn them over because 3-point shooting, not their strength. They made some the other day against Omaha, but this is a little different.
Wiltshire attacking again, but missed it. And the rebound to Adu. Here comes Wagner racing up ahead. Finds Brazil, corner 3. And it's tipped to Wiltshire, but taken away by Arkansas. Richmond and Davis. And then Adu was not ready for the pass, and a turnover by the Razorbacks. Here's a look at the struggling stars for the Red Storm. And Lap, again, this was the knock on St. John's all year. They don't shoot the ball well. What happens if all 3 of these guys have an off day?
They won a lot of games this year when they didn't play well because their defense was so good and their rebounding was so good. But now you're playing against a high-level athletic team, and you need your offense today. Their defense hasn't been bad, but you need your offense when you get to this level in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Arkansas, that's not a 10 seed. I don't care what anybody says.
St. John's doesn't have that 3-point threat that can ignite a run. The one guy they did have, Brady Dunlap, out for the year earlier with an injury, as we have a whistle and a foul. That's going to go on Boogie Fland, and he picks up his 3rd.
And Davon Smith hasn't really been right since he got hurt in the Garden against Villanova. He's had his ups and downs with injuries. I know Rick tells us he's fine, but I don't think he's 100%.
He had a right shoulder injury and also a pinched nerve in his neck. Smith has battled through a lot this year. Out on the floor right now, R.J. Lewis is back. Scott's 3!
They needed that. Like, psychologically, they needed that.
And here come the St. John's fans. First points today for Scott. He's 1 for 9.
They got the switch. They got Wiltshire on Adu. If they can get it. No time left, though.
Shot clock at 3. Wagner, deep 3. And a foul is going to go on Ejiofor.
Wow.
Zuby can't believe it. He was tangled up with Jonas Adu, and the foul is on St. John's.
I'll tell you, Ejiofor has to be really, really careful now.
Left of your screen.
Wow. In this kind of game, I'm sorry, that's not a good call.
And the lob to Brazil.
And Lewis is back in.
They changed the foul. Wasn't on Ejiofor, it was on Wiltshire.
Oh, that's a big
difference. Lewis lost it. Wagner with nobody back. Scott chasing him.
Good pass.
Richmond.
Wagner, what a smart play. He knew Scott or somebody was barreling down on him, and he passed it. Really good play by Wagner.
Ejiofor rejected by Adu. Lewis scoops it up in the corner, dribbles in, and misses the jumper, and a whistle inside. Ejiofor's on the ground, and this foul will go on Arkansas. Pace of this game is picked up dramatically.
I mean, Boogie Fland. Richmond comes to help. Nobody helps him. And what a great play. He was going to slam that, but he saw from the corner of his eye someone was coming and gave it to his teammate for a layup.
Now,
really nice.
That foul call, though, Lap on Adu. His fourth with 12:17 to go. And so now Ivisic and Adu with 4 apiece.
You got to go right to Ejiofor here, because there's no way Ivisic is going to foul him. He's not even going to guard him, probably. Well, now he's got Fland on him.
Fland on him now. It's Richmond. Ejiofor only has 1 point this half. Calling for it.
They could have given it to him.
And they missed their opportunity. Now the shot clock winding down. Now they try to get it to Ejiofor. Smith gets it back, dribbles right in, and a foul with the shot clock winding down. And if that's on Ivisic, he's gone.
I think it is.
It is. Ivisic fouls out with 11:58 to go and .7 on the shot clock. Things are heating up in Rhode Island. Arkansas turning up the heat defensively, a combined 9 steals and blocks.
Yeah, I mean, they're backing off, so they really only have to defend the paint because St. John's hasn't been able to make a jump shot the entire game. And they have the requisite shot blockers in there. Even a guy like Knox, who's, 6'6", but is a tremendous athlete, making life very, very difficult in the lane for St. John's.
St. John's is 3 for its last 18, but the foul trouble is a major inflection point right now for the Razorbacks, with Ivisic fouled out and Adu on the bench with 4 fouls.
Yeah, it's not like Knox can't be a power forward. He is 6'6", 220. It's going to be a little hard. Brazil is a good player, but not really physical. He's got to be able to contain Ejiofor on the glass.
Smith 1 out of 2. Arkansas only has 1 player on the floor right now taller than 6'6". And it's Brazil. As that goes out of bounds, it'll stay with Arkansas.
That would be one to look at in the last 2 minutes.
Cannot do it with 11:56 to go, and that might be a good thing for Arkansas after that replay. Here's a look at the foul situation. Adu with 4, Wiltshire with 4 for St. John's.
They got 5 guys out on the perimeter for the most part now.
Flan, step back 3. No good, and a foul on the rebound. That's going to go on Richmond.
Wow.
And that's going to be Richmond's 4th foul.
Well, he's got to come out. 11:37 to go. Got to.
Rick Pitino said he told his team, look, the games will be officiated differently in the NCAA tournament compared to Big East play. We have to adjust to that. St. John's played a lot of physical games in the Big East this year. This one's physical, but we're seeing all the fouls.
And you know what happens, too? Even though, obviously, Lamar has had them before, but all these other refs have not had them.
Kadari has 4 fouls in 15 minutes. Fland again. Not this time either. Offensive rebound. Davis with the putback.
And that was R.J. Lewis. Didn't box out.
Davis with 9 points.
And now Knox is on Ejiofor. They switched.
Smith Off glass and a foul. Davon Smith with a chance at a three-point play.
But he's one of those guys that can get it going. Brazil goes for the shot fake, and Ejiofor boxes Knox out.
Foul on Knox is first. Arkansas dominating in the paint this second half, outscoring St. John's 18-6, and you've got to think that that's got to be the counter for St. John's. Pounded inside with Ejiofor with the foul trouble Arkansas has.
And that's who they are, because let's face it, making threes now in an NCAA tournament game where you're not great at it and you're down 10, you don't have a whole lot of confidence.
Flan blows by Leotopoulos, reverse lay-in, no. Rebound comes to Ruben Prey.
Davon Smith starting to find some bounce.
Races up ahead, but Brazil got a piece of it. Prey picks it up, misses. Ejiofor the rebound, and his bucket is good. First field goal of the half for Zuby Ejiofor. And the St. John's fans on their feet in Rhode Island. Brazil for three. Halfway down, Leotopoulos the rebound.
Yeah, not getting anything in the lane on these last couple of possessions. Smith, runner is good. Davon Smith heating up. Timeout, Arkansas.
7-0 run for St. John's, and they've cut the deficit down to 6.
Yeah, Davon Smith obviously is starting to motor like he is capable of doing, playing with a whole different level of confidence. I've seen him in the last 5 minutes, attacking every single time.
Fourth different stop for Smith. Utah, Georgia Tech, Mississippi State. Never played in the NCAA tournament until now with St. John's, calling it a dream come true. And he's got 11 points to try to rally the Red Storm.
And here comes that pressure. And now Arkansas has their 2 point guards in, Wagner and Flan, which obviously will help.
And a foul away from the ball. And it's going to go on St. John's and Davon Smith. And that will be a 1-and-1 for Arkansas. Third on Davon Smith, who has scored 6 of the last 8 for St. John's.
Arkansas is a decent free throw shooting team. Not bad, but not great.
73% on the year, but 76% over their last 8 games. Today they are 11 of 16 as Richmond goes to the line for a 1-and-1. Freshman from Memphis.
One thing about John Calipari today, he's getting a whole lot from a lot of guys. Everybody who's played really has made a pretty good contribution.
18 points off the bench for Arkansas today. And that's again without Adu Thero, who they can really use right now, but he's missing his 8th straight game with the left knee.
Their leading scorer, and he's really close to coming back. Probably play next week if there is a next week.
Clutch free throws for the freshman Richmond, makes them both 57-49. And another foul is called, as the winner of this one will see either Drake or Texas Tech in San Francisco in the Sweet 16. So now it'll be a 1-and-1 for St. John's as John L. Davis picks up his 3rd foul. Leotopoulos seeing a lot of minutes today.
Yeah.
On the year, he's only been to the line 4 times. He's 3 out of 4. Missed it. Knox the rebound, and Davis is able to take it away.
No real post-up guy for Arkansas now, so they're basically going 5 out. Oh, that was a travel.
Knox
was.
This time called for the travel. John Calipari saying there should have been a foul called. Only the second turnover of the half by the Razorbacks.
And that's not good for St. John's because they rely on those things so much.
Leotopoulos to Smith. What a find by Lefteris Leotopoulos. Back to a two-possession game. And Jonas Adu comes to the scorer's table for Arkansas. Set to check in.
4 fouls. I don't know, a little early, up 6.
Wagner spinning on Lewis, and it goes.
I would bring Adu back, I gotta be honest with you. Up 8, I wouldn't put him in yet.
Lewis trying to answer. Not there. Ejiofor is there.
Whoa.
Leotopoulos almost stole it, but now Davis breaks ahead. And he'll slow it back up to Wagner. 8.5 to go. Wagner, not there, tipped all the way out, and Davis tracks it down with 20 to shoot. Wagner played all 40 minutes against Kansas. Davis, too easy, slicing through the lane.
Johnell Davis put it on the floor. He can shoot threes, but they better get back.
Smith rejected by Knox. Right to Scott. Scott is fouled. And we have a timeout, and we can all catch our breath. Everything you hoped this game would be, it is, with 7:57 to go. Playing for a spot in the Sweet 16 on CBS. We are back in a rockin' Providence with our game summary. Arkansas leads by 8, but St. John's has found some momentum thanks to Davon Smith. 8 of his 13 here in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, they're attacking Arkansas in the paint, which is, you know, what they have to do. They only made 2 threes the whole game. And this is Davon Smith, who's done a great job of attacking, getting in the lane. And then when you get in the lane, it opens things up for offensive rebounds for a guy like Ejiofor. But let's keep one thing in mind. Arkansas has 11 field goals this half. Every one was in the paint, every one. So here's a game where three-point shooting is irrelevant. So if somebody makes a couple of threes, they can change this whole thing around.
All right, you see the foul trouble. Adu with 4, and Calipari puts him back on the floor.
You know, like I said, I would put him back in if the lead went to 2. As long as that lead stays at 6, I keep him out.
Let's check in with Evan.
That last Arkansas huddle, John Calipari telling his guys, you have to attack the rim stronger. You're either going to make it or get fouled. Stop just flipping it up defensively. Have to limit the penetration. And he wants his guards crashing the boards more to help on these offensive rebounds.
Well, that's taking a chance, because one thing about St. John, they can fast break. If you're sending 4 to the glass, it could get tough in transition.
Shot clock inside 10 for Richmond. Tried to bounce it in. Great defense by Ejiofor. And this is the problem. Transition rejected, but a foul.
I think they call goaltending. They can look at it. Goaltending. And they're not going to look. Oh, they can look at it after.
They count it. They counted it.
They counted it, right?
They counted it. Oh, wow. And then Richmond, as Scott gets tangled up. There's a lot going on here right now, let me tell you.
Are they going to look at that at the end of the 4?
Well, they counted the basket.
Oh, they counted the basket.
Yeah, they counted the basket. 61-57.
Then why'd they blow the whistle? Oh, okay. Yes.
Gene Steratore telling us from New York, he agrees with the call. A good goaltend call.
Yeah, it was.
A 4-point game with 7:28 to go. A little bit of pressure here from St. John's as Wagner brings the ball up against Smith.
Ejiofor switched to Wagner.
Wagner to the corner. Brazil catch and shoot 3. is short, and Lewis the rebound.
I'd go to Ejiofor right away. This man's got 4 fouls. Give it to him.
Lewis trying to maneuver in tight, and he is fouled. That's going to go on Billy Richmond.
St. John's is making it very clear what they want to do now. Just attack the paint, and keep attacking it.
So much made of the relationship between John Calipari and Rick Pitino. We met with each of them separately yesterday, asked them each to characterize their relationship with the other. Rick Pitino saying, I don't really have a relationship with Calipari. I don't like him, I don't dislike him, I respect him. And Calipari said, look, we've known each other since 5-star camp back in the 1970s when Calipari was a camper and Pitino was a counselor. Calipari said, I have great respect for him. We'll watch his games to learn from him. There's no animosity between us, but we don't exchange Christmas cards. We are in competitive environments against each other, but no rivalry there.
Yeah, I was at 5-star with those guys back in those days.
2 of the best to ever do it, going head-to-head in the NCAA tournament. Calipari at the age of 66, Pitino at the age of 72. Flan sends it out. Knox dribbles in. Knox on the attack. And he is fouled. A late whistle. And Rick Pitino can't believe it.
I'll tell you, I give Knox a lot of credit for not shooting that 3 because he was wide open. But he knows what's on the line in this game. I'm going to do what I do.
And Lap, that's the 5th on Kadari Richmond. And Rick Pitino has given Lamar Simpson a piece of his mind. Richmond fouls out in just 16 minutes today.
Oh, that's not a foul. I mean, he walled up. I don't know about that one. I mean, he got his arm straight up in the air. Oh, that's not a foul. I'm sorry. That's a no call.
You saw the reaction from Richmond, who's very mild-mannered, rarely shows emotion. And he went right to the official in disbelief.
That's a huge call. They got to play without him now in a 3-point hole.
Gene Steratore telling us from New York that he agrees with you, Lap.
Me and Gene, we're like, you know, simpatico now. That's our thing. I think Gene only thought I was wrong all the time when I was coaching. That's when he thought I was.
Maybe you're seeing the game from a slightly different perspective.
Oh, what are you, being a wise guy?
Knox misses the free throw.
Well, you're going to see Davon Smith. He's in full attack mode. He doesn't have to share the ball with anybody because when he's out there with Richmond, it can be a little, you know, one-on-one. Each one wants to go with the ball. Now it's all his.
With Richmond done, St. John's needs R.J. Lewis to wake up.
Yes.
He is 3 for 15 today for 7 points. He's a second-team All-American and the Big East Player of the Year. He's got the ball here. Lewis for 3. Won't go. Stop the offensive rebound to the ground, and he's fouled. And that's going to go on Boogie Fland. And that's the 4th on Boogie.
The one thing that John Calipari had, one thing about St. John's, these guys have been a second-half team. They know how to fight. They know how to get on the offensive glass when they need to. Got to box out.
They changed the foul to Richmond. Second foul on Billy Richmond. Two-point game. Substitutions for Arkansas. Brazil and Davis back in. And it is loud in Providence. Rick Pitino has put Simeon Wilcher back on the floor. He's got 4 fouls. Starting to run out of bodies in this game.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Which is no surprise, really.
Adu sets the screen for Wagner. Ejiofor on Wagner. Wagner trying to go right at Ejiofor. Adu the follow, not there. The tip doesn't go. A fight for it, and it goes out of bounds to St. John's.
Calipari looking for a jump ball there. They missed a point-blank tip there. I mean, look at that. Adu has got that all by himself. Yeah, it's not a hell ball. They had it together by half a second.
St. John's with a chance to tie or take the lead as we approach 5.5 minutes to go.
I would go to number 24. He's got a guy guarding him with 4 fouls.
Lewis puts one up. Wild shot, and the struggles continue for R.J. Lewis.
I mean, they're not doing what I think in the half court now. You got to go to Ejiofor. Because Adu's going to not. He's going to do anything he can to not foul out. He's going to give the shot.
Wagner finds Brazil, and Brazil capitalizes. Arkansas back up by 4. Wilcher up ahead. Lewis got hit up high by Brazil.
That was a tough pass, I'll tell you.
And Brazil is still down. Foul is on Brazil, which is his 3rd. Thankfully appears to be okay. See the collision here.
Yeah. Going for the ball. I'll tell you, these guys are playing incredibly hard. Incredibly hard the whole game.
That was the 39th foul of the game. And sends Lewis to the free throw line. Ruben Prey is at the scores table, but he's coming in for Lewis if this free throw goes in. R.J. Lewis has scored 20 points in 6 of his last 7 games. He's got 9 today. He comes out, Prey back in. See Ejiofor trying to rally Lewis. They need him down the stretch.
That's what a good leader does.
He's 3 for 17 today.
Hey, he's 3 for 17 and they can still win this game.
Lewis comes out right now with 4:56 to go. Flan comes to get it. And now Wagner. Little contact there. Wagner and Smith, no calls. The shot clock hits 10. Richmond trying to feed Adu, and it somehow comes to Brazil, who's blocked, but a goaltend.
That was not a good pass. They were very fortunate on that. Yeah, oh yeah, it's on the board. Even though that probably wasn't going in.
Was not going in.
That was not going in.
Brazil has 8 points and 8 boards. The lead back up to 4 for Arkansas.
I think they're doing Adu a favor, I gotta be honest with you.
Have not gone inside in a while. Trey going baseline! A player answered!
I'll tell you, this kid has been showing something last few games, Ruben Prey.
Freshman from Portugal, averages less than 2 points per game. Cuts the deficit to 2.
Whoa, Elvis went out.
Smith comes out on Wagner. Adu to set the screen. Wagner now matched up with Ejiofor. Goes right by him, misses, and Ejiofor rips down the rebound. Ejiofor's got Brazil on him. Zuby missed it.
Oh, that was a point blank.
He was looking for a foul call. Coming up on 3 minutes to play.
They love this high pick and roll in the middle of the floor.
Adu calling for it. He's got it with 5 to shoot. Richmond comes to get it. His jumper. Yes! Billy the Kid with a big bucket.
That's a silky smooth 12-footer.
Richmond has 15. That ties a career high. And St. John's calls a timeout with 2:51 to go. A heavyweight fight between two Hall of Fame coaches coming right down to the wire. Back in Providence, as Arkansas and St. John's battle for a spot in the Sweet 16, the winner will see either Drake or Texas Tech on Thursday in San Francisco. Alongside Steve Lapis, I'm Andrew Catalan. Evan Washburn is with us as well. The officials during this timeout have been looking at that last goaltending call that was good for Arkansas. We'll take another look as well.
I mean, I thought it clearly hit the board. There, it's on the board. Even though I don't think it was going to go in, it was going to be short.
Still looking at this one.
Yeah, I don't know why it's...
Basket was called good on the floor. And as our crew continues to look, St. John's is shooting 30%, but they're only down by 4. In the last 20 years, teams shooting under 30% in the tournament are 3-62.
They've won a lot of ugly games this year. It's kind of what they do.
Now they're going to look at this
After
one.
review of both goaltending calls, both of them have been confirmed.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought they were going to look at that one from, but it happened at 7:40, and they had to wait till the under 4 to look at it. I think those are 2 good calls.
Arkansas with 2 timeouts remaining. St. John's only has 1. That was a Rick Pitino timeout. And it's Aaron Scott who will inbound.
I think what you got to do is either create a mismatch for Ejiofor because they switch everything, or just throw it into what they do there. Now, granted, Arkansas is putting tremendous pressure on the passes, so it's not that. I don't want to make it sound like it's easy to throw it to him, but they need to get it to him. And this is the play they just ran. Bad turn.
What a steal by Boogie Fland.
And Rick Pitino set it up from the huddle to get the low exchange for Ejiofor on the block, and Davon Smith turned it over.
Arkansas happy to have that young man back. What an impact he's made here in Providence this week.
Is he playing more than 15 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. 2:20 to go. Wagner on the attack, scoops it up and in.
Not a great defensive play there by St. John's. Way too easy, no help. And it's not like Arkansas can shoot the ball. Pack it in a little bit.
Wilcher, foul trouble all day. Big shot here, no good. Follows his miss. Locates Scott for 3. That won't go, and Flan tracks down the rebound.
Arkansas wants to take a little bit of clock now. You've got 6-point lead. Try to make this clock move if you're Arkansas.
It has gone quiet here in Providence, with so many St. John's fans nervous that this magical ride is about to end. 5 to shoot.
Oh, you got to get something going now.
Fland. Nowhere close. Smith the rebound.
He's got to attack.
Looking for Ejiofor, who sends it back out. Wilcher for 3. Not close. Offensive rebound, Smith. Approaching 1 minute to go. Smith at 3. That's not good. Scott is fouled going for the rebound. That'll send Aaron Scott to the line. And how about this? Who would have ever thought that with a minute to go in the biggest spot of St. John's season, they've got R.J. Lewis on the bench.
That is really hard to imagine. Big East Player of the Year.
Second team All-American. 3 for 17 and watching with 1:04 to play.
Rick must be upset with him. Got to be something. I don't know. Is he hurt? He's Big East Player of the Year.
Scott misses the free throw.
I mean, for him to be out, that's mind-boggling. I don't care if he was 1 for 30. I mean, I would look at it like this. Who's got a better chance of doing something good in the last minute and a half? Him or Ruben Prey? I know where I bet.
Scott misses them both. And he's an 83% free throw shooter.
You don't have to, you can go one possession, but then you got to foul. I would play one time. It's 2-possession game. But you don't want to foul now.
John L. Davis, defended by Scott.
Oh, should be something there.
Contact, 10 to shoot. Davis, Richmond.
Smart play.
And a foul is called on Scott with 7 on the timer.
That's the worst thing that could happen.
It'll be a 1-and-1 for Billy Richmond.
I don't mind the decision. Don't foul. I get it, but he wasn't trying to foul. It just happened.
Kadari Richmond is fouled out. He's watching. Both of these teams today are 2 for 19 from three-point land. And if St. John's is going to need threes to get back in this, I'm not sure where they turn. It's not R.J. Lewis. We know that. He continues to watch with 41.8 to play.
Well, they're playing without their 2 best playmakers, and they're 2 for 19 from the three-point line.
Richmond misses the front end. Ejiofor the rebound.
Not over yet, and you don't have to make a 3. You got to score quick. Well,
Smith shoots a 3. No good. And the rebound to Richmond.
Now you got to foul.
Over to John L. Davis. Davis lost the ball. He was out of bounds. St. John's ball.
Yeah, I mean, great job by Wilshire to cut that sideline off and bottle him up there.
And Rick Pitino goes to his bench, but not for R.J. Lewis. He brings in Leotopoulos. And now the officials are going to look at that last play to confirm it is St. John's ball.
See, a good job by Wilshire there, stopping. I think it's off St. John's. It's really hard to tell.
Well, it was called.
I mean, off of Arkansas.
Off
red.
of Arkansas.
I was thinking red.
Looks like Davis touched his leg to the ball out of bounds right there.
Yeah, it's off Arkansas. But I'll tell you, great job by Wilshire cutting that sideline off and forcing that turnover. I really am flabbergasted that R.J. Lewis is not in the game. Last minute and a half in a 4-6-point game. Shocked.
He's done it all for St. John's this year, but 3 for 17, and Rick Pitino thinks that.
Yeah, oh no, obviously he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm not. But like I said, if it's 1 for 30, I'd have him in.
St. John's has only hit 2 threes today. One of them was by Leotopoulos, who's on the floor. All year, St. John's, with their defense and their energy and their effort and their coaching, they've been able to overcome poor shooting performances. They still have not been able to do that today.
Yeah, but I think it's pretty clearly off Arkansas. I will say this. We thought that...
Call on the floor is confirmed. The game clock will be reset to 29.4.
You know, we thought there could come a game when you start playing these good teams where the shooting could hurt them, and it's hurt them.
29.4 on the clock. St. John's trails by 6. It'll be Wilshire to inbound.
And give Arkansas credit. They've put pressure on the ball. They haven't been able to find Ejiofor in the post. Not at all.
Leotopoulos comes to get it. Leotopoulos puts up a 3. It's short. Ejiofor cleans it up. 70-66 with 20 seconds to go.
I thought they would call timeout there, set up their pressure.
Knox in the corner, and Scott commits the foul, stopping the clock with 19.2 to go. John Calipari has not been to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament since 2019. But if Arkansas closes the deal here, it'll be the 16th Sweet 16 for Cal and the 15th for Arkansas. Calipari has been more times than the school he now coaches. Knox with a big free throw.
80% free throw shooter. I don't want to go crazy, but R.J. Lewis, he's also got the best chance of all these guys, I think, to make a three. Which obviously now they need to look three. 2 possessions.
Smith lost it out of bounds and a turnover.
Wow.
And they can taste it on the Arkansas bench.
Well, they got to break this pressure, because you know it's going to be relentless.
Richmond gets it into Davis. Very good free throw shooter, fouled right away. Davis 84% on the year. This is an Arkansas team that started SEC play 0-5, and many had them counted out for the NCAA tournament. There is Ellen Calipari almost in tears. As John Calipari told us, it's been one of the more rewarding seasons of his career. All the injuries, starting 0-5, a new place, people counting them out, and now on the verge of the Sweet 16.
And you know, Andrew, they played fast and loose both these games here in Providence.
Daughter Megan Calipari can barely watch as Davis makes them both. 10 seconds to go. Leotopoulos 3, no good. Richmond the rebound, and Ejiofor fouls with 4.6 to go.
And Wiltshire and Scott hugging. They had a heck of a year, St. John's.
Both these teams left it all on the floor today.
No doubt.
An unbelievable NCAA tournament game. And it's going to be Arkansas moving on. Rick Pitino already at midcourt, ready to shake hands with John Calipari. In fact, he's walking over to him right now. Two of the best to ever do it.
It's a tough 10 seed.
From 0-5 in the SEC to the Sweet 16. Arkansas and John Calipari moving on to San Francisco. Razorbacks will play either Drake or Texas Tech. Coming up next on CBS, it's Michigan against Texas A&M. For Steve Lapis, Evan Washburn, and Gene Steratore, I'm Andrew Catalan. So long from Providence.